Friends, I am Pulak Bagchi. Today I will share some interesting facts about the management science. Today's topic is the soft skill. What is a soft skill? Imagine two candidates went into the interview room. They are from the same university. The results are almost same. One of them got the job offer and another returned empty-handed. Why it is so? The difference is not in their CV. It is the soft skill which made the difference. Then what is the soft skill? Soft skill is a behavioral science. It is a people skill. How we talk with the others, how we listen them, how we give them importance, and how we handle the pressure. Friends, hard skill can get you up to the interview hall, but soft skill can get you the job. The management science says the success and failure of an organization depends more on the people who work for it than any other factor. You may have the best office building, you may have the best office equipments, but unless your employees communicate properly, nothing moves. That is why the companies today spend crores of rupees on their soft skill training. Friends, soft skill may be divided into 7 parts. The communication, the teamwork, the problem solving, the adaptability, the time management, the leadership quality, and the emotional intelligence. Now we are discussing the communication because it touches all. The word communication has come from the Latin word communi. It means the common, to share. So the communication means sharing of your thoughts, sharing of your views with others for getting work. It has got 4 types. The spoken communication, this written down communication, then the gestural communication, then the grapevine communication. The verbal or spoken communication means the sharing of your views by spoken words, what we are doing now. It has got 2 types. The formal and informal. Formal means the meeting in the classroom, the lecture in the meeting, the video conferencing, etc. The language is clear and official here. Then the unofficial and informal communication is the chatting over the tea party in the family gathering. Language is casual there. The written communication is 3 types. The upward communication, it is made by the juniors to the seniors. It is the application for job, application for the leave, application for the pay. It is the submission of report, etc. Language should be sober here. Then the downward communication. The downward communication means the communication by the senior people to the juniors. It is the office order, it is the posting order, job order, movement order, work order, etc. The language is clear and categorical and to some extent commanding. Then the horizontal communication. This communication is made by the same rank of the people. 2 and more managers are sharing their views for betterment of the work. 2 or more employees are sharing their experience for betterment of the works. Then the gestural communication. You might have seen the traffic police in the road raises his hands and entire traffic stops. Then in a cricket match, umpire raises his finger, batsman goes out. So that is the gestural communication. We use it to our daily life. Then the grapevine communication. Grapevine communication is a informal channel of communication. It is a spread with the informal channels in a lightning speed. It can be spread from the office boy to the chief executive officer. It is a rumor. It is a gossip. Sometimes it spread the wrong information in the society. It may create the artificial crisis of food and essential commodity through the wrong information of shortage of things. It may affect the share value of a company for wrong information. Friends, you might have seen the football match. The captain shouts, run, everybody starts running, then he shouts, stop, everybody freezes. That is the power of communication. But you may say, if the communication is so powerful, why it has failed sometime? It fails because of its barriers. Yes, friends, the communication has got its own barrier. It is the geographical barrier. Your branch is in Delhi, you are communicating from the Calcutta. You cannot meet face-to-face Delhi. Then the language barrier. You are speaking Bengali, your client is Tamil. If there is no common language, your communication will fail. Then the economic barrier. If you can't afford the video conferencing and high equipment, etc., you will miss the facial expression and the body language. Then the social and educational barrier. Your manager and upper people speaks very high English, very high technical words. Your junior, newly appointed people may not understand. So communication will fail. Then time and atmosphere barriers. You give an important lecture to a noisy factory, your communication will fail because nobody will listen properly due to noise. Then you are giving to a lecture to a group, those who are waiting to catch a train. There may be a chance to fail the communication because everybody's mind is to catch a train, so they may not concentrate. The good communication means removal of all the barriers as far as possible. Friends, you may say, why it is important to me? I am not a salesman, I am an engineer. I would say, throughout the world, 80% of the communication is people and only 20% work is technical and the educational. You may write the best computer code, you may write the best formula, but until or unless you can explain it to your manager properly or your client properly, it will not work. At the same time, you should listen the problem, actual problem of your customer. So that is the power of the communication. It is a bridge between your merit to the rest of the world. Friends, in my long experience in a government department throughout the India, I have seen some brilliant candidates failed because while communicating or while giving the answer, they looked into the floor. At the same time, I have seen some mediocre candidates succeed because they listened properly, then smiled and answered reasonably correct reply. So friends, today we could touch only the one chapter, that is the communication. There are rest, the teamwork, problem solving, adaptability, leadership quality, emotional intelligence, etc. We will take one by one with the practical example and the ground reality in the coming session. So today, thank you very much.